Imagine a quiet hospital room where two brothers, who have spent their whole lives together, are facing a moment that will change everything. Barry and Maurice Gibb are not just famous musicians, they are best friends who have shared every joy and every struggle. In this silent room, time seems to slow down. The world outside keeps moving, but inside, it feels like everything has stopped. The air is filled with memories of their music, laughter, and dreams. No one else knows what is about to happen, but for Barry, this is the most important moment of his entire life. Before we dive into video, please subscribe to our channel. Barry Gibb, now 79 years old, sits down for a rare and emotional interview. The years have added wisdom and gentleness to his face, but his eyes still shine with the same spark that made him a legend. As the cameras start rolling, Barry takes a deep breath. He knows that today, he will talk about something very close to his heart. His final moments with his twin brother, Maurice. The interviewer asks a simple question about family, but Barry's expression changes. He looks down for a moment, gathering his thoughts, and when he looks up again, his eyes are filled with emotion. Barry begins to speak softly, his voice trembling just a little. He says that losing Maurice was the hardest thing he has ever faced. They were not just brothers. They were best friends, partners, and soulmates in music. Barry explains that Maurice was always the one who could make him laugh, even on the darkest days. Their bond was something special, something that only brothers who have shared everything can understand. Barry remembers how, in the days leading up to Maurice's passing, he felt a deep sadness but also a sense of peace, knowing that they had shared so much together. As Barry continues, he describes the hospital room where Maurice spent his last hours. The room was quiet, filled with the soft sounds of machines and the gentle whispers of family members. Barry says he sat by Maurice's side, holding his hand, not wanting to let go. He remembers looking at his brother and seeing not just the man he had grown up with, but also the little boy who had once dreamed of singing on big stages. Barry's voice breaks as he recalls the moment Maurice opened his eyes and looked at him. In that instant, Barry knew that something important was about to happen. Barry shares that Maurice whispered something to him, words that he will never forget. Those words were filled with love, comfort, and a message that only the two of them could truly understand. Barry says that even now, all these years later, he can still hear Maurice's voice in his mind. The memory is both painful and beautiful, a reminder of the deep connection they shared. As Barry finishes telling this story, it is clear that Maurice's last words have stayed with him, shaping his life and giving him strength to carry on. The bond between Barry and Maurice Gibb was something truly special, something that went far beyond just being brothers. From the very beginning, they were more than family. They were best friends, creative partners, and each other's biggest supporters. Growing up together, they shared not only a home but also their dreams, their secrets, and their love for music. As children, they would spend hours singing together, making up songs, and imagining a future where their voices would be heard by millions. This early connection laid the foundation for a partnership that would last a lifetime. When the Bee Gees were formed, Barry and Maurice, along with their brother Robin, created a sound that was unique and unforgettable. But it was the special bond between Barry and Maurice that often held everything together. They understood each other in a way that only twins could. Sometimes, they did not even need to speak. A simple look or a small gesture was enough to communicate what they were feeling. This deep understanding helped them write songs that touched people's hearts all over the world. Their partnership was not always easy. There were times when they disagreed or faced challenges, both in their personal lives and in their music careers. But no matter what happened, Barry and Maurice always found a way back to each other. They knew that their connection was too important to lose. When one of them was struggling, the other would step in with support, encouragement, or even just a joke to lighten the mood. Maurice, in particular, was known for his sense of humor and his ability to make Barry laugh, even during the toughest times. As the Bee Gees became more famous, the pressure grew, but so did their bond. They traveled the world together, performed on the biggest stages, and experienced the highs and lows of fame side by side. Through it all, Barry and Maurice remained each other's anchor. They celebrated each other's successes and comforted each other during failures. Their music was a reflection of their relationship, full of harmony, emotion, and a sense of unity that could not be broken. In the end, the bond between Barry and Maurice was about more than just music. It was about love, trust, and a lifetime of shared memories. Even after Maurice's passing, Barry continues to feel his brother's presence, knowing that their connection will never truly fade. Their story is a powerful reminder of how strong the ties of family and friendship can be, especially when they are built on a foundation of love and understanding. As Barry remembers that heartbreaking day, He describes the hospital room where everything changed. The room was filled with a heavy silence, the kind that makes every sound seem louder and every moment feel longer. Barry says that when he walked into the room, he could feel the weight of what was happening. The walls were plain, the lights were soft, and the only sounds were the quiet beeping of machines and the gentle voices of nurses moving in and out. It was a place where time seemed to slow down, and every second felt important. Barry sat down next to Maurice's bed, holding his brother's hand tightly. He did not want to let go, even for a moment. He looked at Maurice and saw not just his brother, but his lifelong friend and partner. Barry could see the memories of their childhood, their first songs, and all the years they had spent together. In that moment, the hospital room was filled with more than just sadness. It was filled with love, memories, and the unspoken bond that only brothers can share. He remembers how the silence in the room made everything feel more real. There were no loud noises, no distractions, just the quiet presence of family and the soft hum of machines. Barry says that every second seemed to stretch on forever, as if time itself was holding its breath. He felt a mix of emotions, fear, sadness, and a deep sense of gratitude for all the moments they had shared. He wanted to say so much to Maurice, but words felt too small for what he was feeling. Barry also remembers looking around the room and seeing the faces of his family, each person lost in their own thoughts and memories. Everyone knew that this was a moment they would never forget. The air was thick with emotion, and even the smallest movement felt important. Barry says that he tried to stay strong for Maurice, but inside, he was breaking. He wanted to be there for his brother, to give him comfort and love in his final moments. In those quiet moments, Barry realized how precious time really is. He understood that every second with Maurice was a gift, and he wanted to hold on to it for as long as possible. The hospital room, with all its silence and stillness, became a place where love and memories were more powerful than words. For Barry, those moments will always be a part of him, a reminder of the deep bond he shared with Maurice. Maurice's last words to Barry were not just a simple goodbye. They were filled with deep meaning, love, and a message that only brothers who have shared a lifetime together could truly understand. Barry remembers how, in those final moments, Maurice looked at him with gentle eyes. There was a softness in his voice, even though he was weak. Maurice knew that he did not have much time left, but he wanted to leave Barry with something special, words that would stay with him forever. As Barry leaned in closer, Maurice whispered something that was both comforting and powerful. He did not talk about pain or fear. Instead, he spoke about love, hope, and the memories they had created together. Maurice wanted Barry to know that no matter what happened, their bond would never be broken. He reminded Barry of all the good times they had shared, the laughter, the music, and the dreams they had chased together. Maurice's words were like a warm embrace, wrapping Barry in a feeling of peace and understanding. Barry says that those last words were more than just a farewell. They were a message of encouragement, telling him to keep going, to keep living, and to keep making music. Maurice wanted Barry to know that he would always be with him, even if he was not there in person. He told Barry to remember the love they had for each other, and to use that love as a source of strength. Maurice's message was clear. Life would go on, and Barry had the power to carry their legacy forward. For Barry, hearing those words was both heartbreaking and healing. He felt a deep sadness knowing that he was losing his brother, but he also felt comforted by the love and hope in Maurice's voice. Those words gave Barry a sense of peace, helping him to face the difficult days ahead. He knew that Maurice's spirit would always be with him, guiding him and giving him strength. Even now, years later, Barry can still hear Maurice's last words in his mind. They echo in his heart, reminding him of the special bond they shared. Those words have become a source of inspiration for Barry, helping him to keep moving forward and to honor his brother's memory. Maurice's final message was not just a goodbye. It was a promise that their love and connection would last forever, no matter what. After Maurice passed away, Barry felt completely lost. The world seemed empty without his brother by his side. For so many years, they had done everything together, writing songs, performing on stage, and sharing their dreams. Now, Barry had to face life without the person who understood him better than anyone else. At first, it was almost impossible for him to imagine moving forward. The pain of losing Maurice was so deep that it felt like a part of Barry was missing. Every day, he would remember Maurice's smile, his jokes, and the way he could make any situation better. But then, Barry started to think about Maurice's last words. Those words were filled with love and hope, and they became a guiding light for Barry during his darkest days. Maurice had told him to keep going, to keep living, and to keep making music. Barry realized that his brother wanted him to be strong, not just for himself, but for their family. and for all the people who loved their music. Maurice's message gave Barry the strength to get out of bed each morning and to face the world, even when it felt impossible. Barry began to find comfort in the memories they had shared. He would sit and listen to their old songs, remembering the times they laughed and worked together in the studio. Each song was a reminder of the bond they had, and it helped Barry feel close to Maurice, even though he was gone. Slowly, Barry started to write new music again. He poured all his feelings into his songs, using music as a way to heal and to keep Maurice's spirit alive. As Barry continued to perform and create, he noticed that fans from all over the world were still touched by the music he and Maurice had made together. Their legacy was still strong, and it gave Barry a sense of purpose. He knew that by sharing their story and their songs, he was keeping Maurice's memory alive for future generations. Barry's emotional journey was not easy, but Maurice's last words gave him the courage to keep moving forward. In the end, Barry learned that love never truly disappears. Even though Maurice was no longer with him in person, his spirit and his words continued to inspire Barry every day. The strength Barry found in those final moments helped him to carry on, to honor his brother, and to share their story with the world. To truly understand the power of Maurice's last words, we have to look back at the journey Barry and Maurice shared from the very beginning. As young boys growing up in England and later Australia, they dreamed of singing for the world. Their childhood was filled with music, laughter, and the kind of mischief only brothers can create together. They would spend hours practicing harmonies, writing songs, and imagining themselves on big stages. Even as children, their bond was clear. They were not just brothers, but best friends who trusted each other completely. When they formed the Bee Gees with their brother Robin, their dreams started to come true. But the road to fame was not always easy. There were times when they struggled, faced rejection, and even doubted themselves. Yet, through every challenge, Barry and Maurice stood by each other. They celebrated every small victory and supported each other through every setback. Their music became a reflection of their journey, filled with stories of love, hope, and sometimes heartbreak. As the Bee Gees became famous, life changed quickly. They traveled the world, performed in front of huge crowds, and experienced the highs and lows of being in the spotlight. Fame brought its own set of challenges: pressure from the media, long tours away from home, and the constant need to create new music. But no matter how tough things got, Barry and Maurice always found strength in their relationship. They would talk for hours, share their worries, and remind each other of why they started making music in the first place. Their brotherhood was tested many times, but it only grew stronger. They faced personal struggles, including health problems and the loss of loved ones. Through it all, they leaned on each other, finding comfort in their shared memories and dreams. The challenges they faced together shaped the final moments they shared in that hospital room. Maurice's last words were not just about saying goodbye. They were about everything they had been through together, all the love and support they had given each other over the years. Looking back, Barry sees those final moments as the result of a lifetime of brotherhood. Every song they wrote, every stage they stood on, and every challenge they overcame brought them closer together. Maurice's last words were shaped by all those experiences, making them even more meaningful. For Barry, those words are a reminder of the incredible journey they shared, a journey filled with love, music, and an unbreakable bond that will last forever. In the end, Barry's emotional breakdown is not just about losing his brother. It is about the powerful love that remains even after someone is gone. When Barry talks about Maurice's last words, he does not just cry because of sadness. He cries because he feels the deep connection they shared, a bond that cannot be broken by time or distance. Barry's tears are a mix of pain and gratitude. He is thankful for all the years they spent together, for the music they created, and for the memories that will always be a part of him. Barry wants people to understand that love does not end when someone passes away. The love between brothers, friends, or family members can last forever, living on in the stories we tell and the songs we sing. For Barry, every time he steps on stage or hears a Bee Gees song on the radio, he feels Maurice's presence. It is as if his brother is still with him, cheering him on and reminding him to keep going. This feeling gives Barry strength, even on the hardest days. The legacy of the Gibb brothers is not just about their music, but about the way they supported each other through everything. Their story is a reminder that even when life is difficult, love and family can help us find hope. Barry's emotional journey shows that it is okay to feel pain and to miss someone deeply. But it also shows that we can find comfort in the memories we shared, and the lessons we learned from those we love. Barry often says that Maurice's last words changed his life. They helped him see that he was not alone, even after his brother was gone. Those words became a source of inspiration. pushing Barry to keep making music and to share their story with the world. He wants people to know that it is possible to move forward after loss, and that the love we carry in our hearts can help us heal. As Barry continues to honor Maurice's memory, he hopes that their story will inspire others to cherish the people they love. He believes that the most important thing in life is the connection we have with others, and that we should never take it for granted. The Gibb brothers' legacy is a powerful reminder that love endures, memories last, and the bonds we share can light the way, even in the darkest times.